Now, there's no way they're saying this. And let me tell you something. It's only because the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. But we got some news to talk about. So let's get straight into it all.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So there's a lot to discuss here regarding the Philadelphia Eagles. We are waiting for the schedule drop on Wednesday. Will things to be slowly leaked on the schedule for the 2025 season? But a few things to talk about here. Okay, number one thing we're going to talk about is Nakobe Dean. All right. The patellar tendon injury is a serious one. We all know this. He's on a contract year this year. Okay. This could be his last year in Philadelphia. You know, when you draft Jahad Campbell, when you re-sign Zach Bond, give him an extension, when you draft Small Munden from Georgia, when you already have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. on this roster as of right now. You know, when Howie Roseman came out in the press conference after the first or second day and was like, oh, yeah, like these moves at linebacker have nothing to do with Nakobe Dean. The only good thing about this injury with Nakobe is that the Eagles could re-sign him after this year to a really cheap price, okay? But realistically, you know, he ain't coming back until the end of the year, and now he's got competition in front of him. Because if Vic Fangio and his linebackers are already playing well during the season, I don't know if he's going to make the switch around with Nakobe Dean and taking a starter out. Well, I'm not a starter, but, you know, realistically, it's almost impossible to really go into this and say that Howie Roseman didn't hit on this linebacker core twice because of Nakobe Dean. I can't believe it's only just because, oh, no, this is where we wanted to go. It has nothing to do with the injury. This patellar tendon injury is serious, okay? He comes back in between November, you know, maybe October. And then when he gets back, he's only been rehabbing for so long. Like, he'll be running a little bit, but once he gets the full pads on, you miss all that time. You're not hitting with pads. You're not using that physicality. You know, you haven't had any game time snaps. It's going to take him a few weeks. Just like when we trade for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and he got here, you know, switching from corner to safety, and like it took him, you know, it's going to take guys to adjust off an injury, switching positions. It takes time to adjust. But is Nakobe Dean going to be the same player that he was? Patellar tendon injuries. This isn't a light injury. This is as bad as an ACL. It's as bad as a Achilles. It's almost as bad, to be honest with you. When it comes to the knee, it's a big deal. Okay. And there was like an article that came out, like somebody was kind of comparing this injury to a player and Drake Jackson, an outside linebacker / edge rusher that the 49ers had in 2023 that was pretty promising. He had a patellar tendon injury, and unfortunately he never rehabbed right. You know, coming off rehab, he just felt like a different player, and sometimes that's what happens with some of these injuries. I mean, every player heals differently. Every player has different seasons coming off an injury. Everybody's body is different. You know, like Brandon Graham had that Achilles injury a few years ago, and then he had a double-digit sack season. I don't think anybody's seen that coming. I sure didn't. Things do impress, you know, at an older age when you get these big injuries. It's not that great. When you're younger, you can afford, you know, you're a lot stronger at that point. Your body's in a better condition at that point. You know what I mean? So, you know, when we drafted Nakobe Dean in the third round, the rumor surrounding him was that he had a lot of things going on with his body, and we were wondering why. Okay. And this is the reason why. He's been hurt every single year. And finally, you cut Devin White, you get him on, you let him start because now you finally have Nakobe Dean healthy to showcase himself, and he does. And then he gets hurt in the Green Bay playoff game. And that really did hurt. And, you know, Oren Burks and Trotter were going to really have a competition, but realistically, Oren Burks won the job. That's what happened. Eagles with the Super Bowl. Now you're going to a 25 season now where Yeah, you got Bond on an extension, so he's here for another couple years, and Nakobe Dean's got a lot of competition in front of him now to really, when he comes back, he's gonna have to fight his way back up. I don't see Fangio taking out guys that are already playing well. Maybe I could be wrong, but look, realistically, Nakobe Dean's probably not going to play until either the second to last game or the last game of the year, because I don't care how well his. I don't know. I mean, look, the Eagles have one of the best medical treatment people, the best health people around the league, and they usually get guys to full health pretty nicely in the rehabbing department and everything like that. So maybe I could be wrong. Maybe he comes out a little bit earlier, and gets on the field as fast as possible. But I just don't know what the future is going to be here with him. I know we kind of talked about this a little bit, but there was an article that came out pretty much, guys coming off this injury potentially, they never really recover the same way. They never really play up to the standard that they used to play, that their careers are, you know, 25% over at this time. It's either you're going to take that first step and make it, or this injury is really going to pull you down from a skill set aspect, and you're never going to be the same movement wise after a certain, after having this injury. So it's just a horrible situation. But it's a good situation, but it's bad. It's good because I'm glad the Eagles finally changed their ways, changed their philosophy. Howie Roseman is surprising me year by year. Now you're drafting linebackers in the first round. Now you're extending linebackers to big contracts, or at least extensions. And you're drafting not one, but two linebackers in the draft, which is pretty nice. And you already have Trotter Jr. already in the building. So I think your linebacker core is really nice. And having Nakobe Dean at the end of the year is a nice luxury, because then you get to decide what you want to do with him. And not playing that many games, I mean, you're missing a lot of time. You're not going to be worth that much money. Might be a cheap contract for the Eagles to hold on to, and they could take advantage of the situation at the end of the year. Or they say, you know what? They like Small Munden. They like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. They feel like Nakobe Dean's expendable at this point. And obviously the Eagles have a lot of contracts to pay, but like I said, Nakobe Dean's contract, if he barely plays a few games, it's not going to be much. It's going to be a very cheap deal. So they have the option to do whatever they want at that moment at the end of the year. This is just going to be a wait and see approach. Hopefully we have an update on Nakobe Dean soon. Is he running? I doubt if he's even in that moment yet. I mean, who knows what he's doing, but you don't play for that long, and you're just, I don't care if he's running sprints or whatever he's doing. I know he's not doing that now, but it takes a lot more time to get back to your normal self. It's going to take time. And when a guy has an injury like that, whether it's an ACL, a bad knee, or an Achilles, you pretty much have to scratch them off for the next year and say, he's not going to play, so someone else has to step up. And that's how I'm kind of looking right at it, of the situation. So, we'll see what happens, but it's just really unfortunate. Not a lot of us do talk about Nakobe Dean, because Jahad Campbell is now the face of this linebacker core now. But you still got to wonder what the move is going to be later on. So I kind of want to dabble in that news a little bit till we find more news on Nakobe Dean and what's really going on with him in his rehabbing, and how close will he be. Will it be October? Will it be November? So end of September would be great, but we'll see how it goes. The Eagles are not in any rush to rush people back. That's not. If you're 99% healthy, they won't play you. That's how overprotective they are, and that's how they are. That's how it goes. Now, Adam Schefter had some news the other day. Okay, says, there's bad news coming for the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, the bad news is that he thinks, now we have the second set meeting for the Tush push and what's going on with that. And, when I think about it, I said to myself, and this is what Adam Schefter said. Adam Schefter said he thinks this is going to be overturned, that the Tush push will be canceled for the 25 season, that it's going to be gone. And yes, I think there's some teams out there that don't want this, especially in the division, that are real butthurt about it, or teams that have faced us twice between the regular season and the playoffs, like Green Bay or the Rams or teams like that. Because of course those teams don't want it. Washington doesn't want it. Anybody in the NFC East doesn't want it. But is there enough votes to really overturn this, especially since no one is getting injured on these plays? Okay, no one has had one injury doing this. Okay. And kind of reading the statistics of how well the Eagles played this. Okay, 24 season, 39 out of 48 attempts on the tush push, 81.3%, which is really good, and an average of 3 yards per tush push attempt, which is kind of crazy. If the Eagles were bad last year, not even good and then losing in the playoffs, I'm talking if they were a bad team this year and another team was doing this, this wouldn't be canceled. This wouldn't even be talked about. Okay? There's a lot more issues in the league than the tush push. Like they made this on the owners' meetings a few months ago. They made this the number one prerogative. They made this like breaking news. This is the most important thing. No other team can do this, but the Eagles are still getting criticized for it. And Nick Sirianni doesn't give a, okay? He doesn't care. No, he does not care about what these other teams are thinking. He's hoping to get votes from certain coaches that, either worked with him or guys that have been with him that made them the successful coaches that they are, like Jonathan Gannon, like Shane Steichen, like some of these Kellen Moore. Like he's hoping he has those votes coming his way. And I think they will. I think they definitely will. But when it comes to the favoritism that the league has, the favoritism of being against the Eagles because they do it well and no one else could do it. If the Chiefs were doing this all year and won a Super Bowl, this wouldn't be brought up at all. But because this is just politics, this is just the way it is when it comes to the Eagles being as successful as they are. And then, take the tush push away from the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts is horrible, and they wouldn't even win a Super Bowl, and hear all the excuses that are going to be coming out, because it will come out if this thing gets canceled. I'll be actually kind of shocked if it gets canceled, but you know what? I really don't care, because I don't think they need it. You have Saquon Barkley, you have A.J. Dillon, you have 4 massive calf, thigh, lower body. Those two guys right there. You don't even need to do it. I am perfectly fine with a quarterback sneak, if that's what it comes down to, or running it up the gut. Okay, that's why I think the Eagles are preparing for a fullback to play 100%. Jeffrey Lurie was on WIP last week. If you forgot the video I made last week, he said they are going to resurrect the fullback position. You know what that means? They're getting prepared for the tush push they're either doing this just to do it, or they're doing this because they really want to emphasize that position in case the tush push is unavailable for the 25 season. Okay. And they're going to have a competition at fullback, whether it's Ben Van Simmeren or whoever the hell else they have at that position. I think that's one of the big reasons why the fullback position is coming back fully. They were sprinkling it in last year here and there, but it wasn't the main thing that they were doing. They tried signing some other fullbacks. No one really kind of took the mantle of it. They kind of, after Ben Van Simmeren, it was a little bit of Blazing Game, a little bit of Calcaterra, a little bit of that other veteran tight end they were using, CJ Usama. Like, they were trying some different things, and they kind of just strayed away from it. But I think that's one of the main reasons why they're really putting a fullback in position. Put Ty Robinson in at fullback. Put Jordan. I mean, I'm not even kidding, bro, because he's done it. Like, piss the league off more. Like, put a guy that's athletic as Ty Robinson there, and I'm telling you, you'll do some damage. I would do it in 2 seconds. I don't see why not. So, just like a little FU to the league. Like, you want to cancel that? Watch what we do with this play. Something like that, even when a team knows it's coming. So, that's really been the big news about the tush push, and Schefter thinks it's going to be banned for the 25 season. And that's where I connect it to Jeffrey Lurie and the fullback position, where he wants to resurrect it. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why he's bringing it back. And they're going to have a bunch of guys trying out for that position in a competition there. And I think that's definitely true, which is kind of crazy. So that's pretty much about it when it comes to the Eagles news today. Let me know what you guys think about the Tush push, and do you think the fullback position has a lot to do with it, where they're really trying to ravage up at that position for the 25 season, taking it away from the Philadelphia Eagles, if that's going to happen? And let me know what you guys think about Nakobe Dean as well, and where do you think this situation is going with his patellar tendon injury, and do you re-sign him after this year? Just say if they win a Super Bowl and you're good with Jahad Campbell, and you're great with Smile Munden or Jeremiah Trotter Jr. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, because I think these are really important. Schedule Wednesday. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Yeah, we'll be doing our thing soon. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. And make sure you like the video, because it helps out tremendously in a lot of ways possible. You guys enjoy. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes well up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.